This is an honor for us, and we are volunteering. We are not being paid to be here. We're doing this out of the goodness of our hearts, and every single one of us wants to do good by them, and to continually allow them to encourage them to express their feelings in healthy ways. The guests who are becoming progressively worse and deteriorating as the disease leads them closer and closer to death, will make the patient become more and more dependent upon us. We're going to have to understand that they are experiencing extreme loss. They have the loss of their body parts, their ability to feed themselves, and they become disabled and dependent, possibly for the first time in their lives. Mm-hmm. So we need to be extremely aware of the losses. We're later going to do an exercise on loss, just to have some empathy for those that are going through this. But our guests may also be dealing with the fear of physical pain. And for many individuals, they fear the pain more than the actual death. So it's something that we could be able to alleviate by talking about it and by having them knowledgeable and aware of what is going on and supporting them in any way that we possibly can.
Right, because there's a lot of fears that can come up, and there's a lot of misunderstandings in the culture. So by knowing what these are, as we go through each of these fears, this is going to be tools in our bag that we can then offer to the family members, offer to the person that's dying. So we talked about the fear of loss. There's going to be fear of sorrow, we'll review, anger and hostility, guilt and shame, and then fear of being forgotten. These are all very real existential questions that are going to be coming up at the end of life. So fear of sorrow, Lorraine, what about that?
Well, the patient is going to be, the guests that we have are going to be experiencing sorrow with all of this loss that they are experiencing. So it's helpful to offer them constant and gentle reminders of the joy that they had previously.
And maybe even in those moments, right? There can be joy in those last days. As family comes
like
through.
Like the birds outside the window.
Yes, I'm excited about that.
Or even the memories that they have written down in their memory book. We can remind them of fond memories or beautiful things that are surrounding us.
And just being present too, because if people are feeling that they can't talk about that fear, then it's going to actually increase that fear. But a lot of times if people can talk about it, then it actually alleviates it. And just being heard and listened to in those situations can do a lot of good.
Anger and hostility. A lot of times there is going to be that. It's going to come up, and you have to really be careful to not take it personally, and realize that this is part of their grief that they're going through, and this is the process that they have to go through. It's beyond their control.
Right, they might ask hard questions like, why is this happening to me? I didn't deserve this, or why now? This is unfair.
So the way we would respond to that would be to quietly be present, to be supportive, and letting the guests know that the crying, the anger, and the hostility that they may be feeling is perfectly normal for the situation that they're going through. Just supporting them in that way.
And then guilt and shame, that can arise for many reasons. It can be part of the self-image. They don't like the way that they are now. They can't do the things that they used to be able to. I know for men in particular, we can feel this sense that our lives don't matter anymore because we're not contributing to the world. We're not doing anything important and any good. We may as well just die. No one cares about us. I'd say this is pretty prevalent in our culture, the sense that people only matter if they're contributing. And if they're not contributing, then they may as well be dead. Now, this is contrary to the way that we think in Enora. We think that every life has matter regardless of any big type of impact or change that they're doing. Just the fact that they're alive is a wonderful gift and a wonderful blessing.
Absolutely. And also with the guilt and shame, we also do have the offer that there is forgiveness. And this is a very good time if they're open to that, to actually maybe open their hearts to some forgiveness, that they might not be carrying the shame and the guilt, and to let them know that they may be embarrassed because we're having to change them and stuff like that, but just to
That's
let
right.
them know that this is an honor for us and we are volunteering. We are not being paid to be here. We're doing this out of the goodness of our hearts, and every single one of us wants to do good by them, and to continually allow them to encourage them to express their feelings in healthy ways as much as we can. Then the fear of being forgotten, that's the next one that we have on our list. And that's where we talked about our legacies, right?
Beautiful project. If you haven't seen the video or weren't part of that talk, then what David was talking about was really powerful, and those legacy projects that can be a really valuable piece to that fear, and really supporting it and helping leave that legacy. Did my life have meaning? Those hard questions can come up at that time, and will I be remembered? One more thing about going back to that guilt and shame, people might have memories of things that they did, and you might just happen to be the one that they're disclosing that to. It's a very private, and it could be a very personal thing to you that they're telling you that they did, and you have a gut or trigger reaction to it. What a hard and straining thing for us as the caregiver, and what a relief and blessing to the person who's saying it, to get it finally off of their chest that they never told anyone, and now they did, and you're not treating them in a judgmental way. You're just present, even if you can't talk, maybe because you're locked up, or you feel if you're going to talk you might react. But just that quiet presence can be enough to help them move on. And then for you, we have to take care of ourselves. We'll have a talk on that in particular.
Oh yeah, that's
because
my favorite part of the class. So I look forward to that. I'm getting there.